topic. Kyle Busch says in the Martinsville race that Corey Lajoie, quote, slammed down into me and then admitted on his podcast that he wanted to crash me and create a yellow. He didn't get penalized even though Hamlin did. Spot on, spot off. Freddie.
Spot off. I don't really get it. We talk about consistency all the time, and Corey doubled down on it. Like, listen, here's the quote, So I just hung a left. I was hoping to catch his right front tire and hook him in the fence and get the caution that I needed. That sounds like race manipulation to me. But he doubled down on it. He said it on Sirius Radio on Monday, and then he came back and said it on his podcast. And then NASCAR themselves posted on the NASCAR YouTube channel the clip of Corey talking about intentionally hanging a left turn into Kyle Busch and trying to wreck him. So I don't know. I don't see the difference, Brett.
I have bad short-term memory, Andrew, so I'm going to ask that you put another thing in the show for next week because I am going to defer what happens here until we see what happens tomorrow with NASCAR. And I would assume that the integrity of the penalty has been looked at for over the course of the past week. We go back to Bubba Wallace, who was fined for saying he wrecked someone on purpose.
No, we spun somebody. We
spun
out
out on
suspended
purpose.
for wrecking the 5. We got fined for saying we intentionally spun out.
But you got fined for what you said,
yes,
not what you did.
Yes.
Okay. Denny got fined points and money for what he said, not for what he did. So prove to me, and I like Corey Lajoie a lot. I think he's lost his fucking mind right here. Like, you're literally 2 weeks removed from a guy losing points and money, and you're going to turn around and publicly say that you did it on purpose, trying to do this outcome. I said it on the show. I feel like one of the reasons Denny got hammered is because he has a podcast. And I guess I should have said a podcast owned by Dirty Mo Media because Corey Lajoie also has a podcast, and his podcast is owned by who? NASCAR. So if he gets away with this, then I want a podcast on NASCAR. Then I can go say whatever I want.
I talked to some people yesterday, and they're like, well, the difference is, Denny succeeded in what he wanted and Corey didn't. I don't know what you're talking about. Denny squeezed Ross in the fence. And then if they wrecked down the backstretch, it was because Ross was brake checking him along the length of the back straightaway. They kept running into each other.
They finished.
But they both finished the race. Denny just squeezed him in the wall. Corey hung a left and knocked Kyle down towards the wall. Kyle didn't wreck. I mean, it's the same scenario repeated.
Yeah, they all finished both times.
Yeah, I'm spot off. I think should probably give Danny his money back.
Listen, I mean,
here's what I would love to say. Say whatever the hell you want.
That's what I'm saying.
If you wreck a guy on purpose, you ought to be able to say versus Ryan Preece, who we know wrecked Kyle Larson on purpose. We know that. Oh, I got loose there. Oh, off. You did not.
I mean,
you're lying, and we know you're lying.
Ryan smirking in that interview.
I mean, if somebody in the NFL knocks the dog piss out of somebody else, they get up and get over the top of them, and they give them, ooh, I meant to knock your head off. And here we're like, I didn't mean to hit that guy.
What race am I talking about? Bristol, mid to late 90s. One driver gets into another driver. Yeah,
Terry Labonte, Dale Earnhardt.
Meant to do it.
Yeah.
Gets out, says he meant to do it.
I meant to rattle his cage.
Yeah, I meant to rattle his cage, which means you meant to get into him.
Yeah.
But you wrecked him. Obviously, it was a great finish and, a great highlight of the sport. Good racing. But
I hate when we think our fans are dumb. And that's exactly what we're asking them to be here. Like, I hate when I'm watching it on TV and they're overselling something, and I'm like, man, that ain't what's happening here. Our fans know better than this. This is no different. Our fans know that Preece wrecked Larson on purpose.
Yeah, you're patronizing.
And our fans know that Denny was doing what he was doing with Ross on purpose. They didn't like each other. So to make them go online and lie about it just drives me bananas. Let them be themselves. When we talk about, last week we talked about, we need superstars around here. Well, how are you going to get superstars when they're afraid to tell you the truth and when they're afraid to get canceled?
Yeah.
But then
they're afraid of cancel culture with their phones and whatever they say on social media and whatever they say in interviews, and they're afraid to tell you, the fans, the truth because they're going to get fined points and money. What the are we doing?
But then if the consensus is to let them do what they want, let them admit it, I mean, wouldn't that on the back end cause a lot more wrecks and a lot more
I don't think
drama.
it's not going to cause any more wrecks. You're just looking for honesty. I don't think guys are going to go out there and intentionally wreck somebody just so they can talk about it after the race.
No.
I think that it's just you're just looking for honesty out of these guys. And listen, maybe if they don't penalize Corey, we open that back up a
when
little
they're
bit.
honest, now you know what? Because we see rivalries build from that, and then when two guys get near each other, you're kind of like, oh, what's going to happen here? Which is, it's suspense, right?
Casey Boat should be able to get out of her Audi out here and say, I'm sick of this shit. I wrecked TJ's Tesla because I'm tired of him bumping into me at stoplights. She should be able to say that. She shouldn't have to say, TJ, I'm sorry about your car. My throttle stuck behind you. I didn't mean to hit you. I mean, let's just be honest with each other.
And I mean, you talk about inconsistency. Somebody's gonna have to explain to me what the difference between what Josh Williams did at Atlanta and what Austin Hill did at Talladega is. Because Austin Hill left pit road, they're going green. Something falls off his car. It makes a yellow come out for a second overtime.
And for the record, Freddie, Austin's car looked a lot worse than Josh Williams' car.
Yeah, and then I saw him riding around. Looked like track bar or something must have been broke in the back of it.
So roughly, the car was worse looking.
Way worse.
Yeah.
Undrivable looking.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
Casey's Audi when she runs into me.
Josh could have finished the race with no problem that day, or I mean, maybe not no problem, but he had But what's the difference there? You parked Josh, and then I don't know. I wasn't there spotting. Were you still there, or did you leave? I know that they were letting the 21 ride around.
For unlimited laps until they went green.
I think he knew. I think he knew that he had to park it because he wasn't going to be able to finish the race the way his car was. But I didn't hear any penalties.
So that's
or
even
see
worse,
any penalties.
really.
Absolutely, because now you've got another chance for something to fall off the car and prolong the thing.
Or not meeting minimum speed.
There is no way
that car wasn't going to run
it wasn't
faster
going
than
to
50 miles an hour. That thing
when
was
I
killed.
saw it, it took up 2 car widths wide. It was dog tracking so bad. I think that's what it.
If you see me scratching different parts of my body, TJ, it's because I sat out by fire in Pigeon Forge this weekend. I got mosquito bites on me. I didn't know mosquitoes were out
Why
yet.
didn't you wear a shirt?
So if I do my back towards you like this, will you just kind of give me like a little?
Why were you out by a fire with no shirt on? In Pigeon
I had a
Forge?
shirt on. I had a shorts.
What do they bite through the shirt?
Yeah, they go up in my sleeves. Mosquitoes think that I'm like dessert.
Where is this
They just
coming
come suck
from?
on me all over my body.
He's over here
Oh,
scratching
God.
his
Here
hand.
we
Suck the
go.
blood out of me. Like right here, my hands itching and my ankles are itching.
Are you
Now
sure
everything's
it's not
gonna
like
itch.
poison ivy?